you know how when you put blankets in a closet, if you don't like fold them up, you just kind of stuff them in there. You can only get so many in there, and it starts to like fall out, and you open it up, and it just all topples down on you. That's how it feels. And what therapy was able to do, and this is what she told me. She was like, my job is to help you just fold them up and put them back in there so that it don't topple out over on you when you open the door. That's what it's about. It's not about getting rid of them or anything like that. It's being able to actually live through your experiences, what you're doing, what you're having, what you're dealing with right now.
What's up? Once again, it's your favorite podcast, Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, joined my co-host, Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your mind.
I just want to talk to white people for a second, if I can. If that's okay. White people, if you're listening, let's just have a talk real quick. Listen, you don't have to fight every racial thing that we bring up. So when we say, hey, Julia Roberts has no business playing Harriet Tubman, you don't have to clap back with, well, isn't a black girl playing Ariel? Like, stop and think how much sense that makes. You're talking about a fictional character versus a but a slave abolitionist. So, I mean, she's a heroic figure. She's a true figure. Don't compare her to Ariel on Disney. That's all I wanted to say. You don't have to fight every battle. Let us have that one.
I think every time they have that argument, I feel like they do compare him to a fictional character.
Yeah, I literally heard that argument.
No, I've heard that too, but I'm like, when I think about it, it's always a fictional character.
Yeah.
Black Spider-Man, female Thor. Like, it's always something. It's never like
007.
Well, 007. Well, they got a black man playing George Washington. Like, it's never that. It's always some fictional character that they use as their template or basis of their argument. Good point, Buff. Duly noted.
I appreciate it. Go ahead, Razi. I just had to get that out the way.
I just wanted to throw a little bit of pop culture out there for everybody. If anybody knows the movie Blade Runner, as of this coming Wednesday, Blade Runner will no longer be set in the future. Blade Runner came out in the 80s and they set it in 2019. It was supposed to be one of those post-apocalyptic type things. It's just kind of weird that, what they thought, all these movies that they made back then, what they thought were the future, we're kind of in it right now. Yeah. So I just figured that was kind of cool for us to actually be living all of these future tenses from all these movies. We don't have ray guns and, stuff like that yet. So we need to get some ray guns.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because my thing is, I forgot what made me think of this. I don't know if it was a dream or something. When I think about fantasy stories that are set either in the past or the future, there are no black people, or at least black people of importance. Think about a fictional, like The Lord of the Rings, no black people. Think about Star Wars. Star Wars has they are probably the only franchise that has, but that's still a long time ago. That's the future past. Is that kind of Star Wars is?
Like that.
But think about it, it's like the black people are never that important until, I guess, recently with the dude that was a drone. You know what I'm talking about, the clone. Razi, I need you. The not the Rogue One series, but
you talking about the Mandalorian? You talking
no, the Mandalorian no. Mandalorian is dope too.
Oh man, I don't have Disney Plus yet, so I need to.
Bro, you don't got Verizon?
Just do the free trial.
I don't have Verizon. I have AT&T.
Bro, you've messed up. Haley got Verizon. Somebody got Verizon?
Haley got Verizon and ain't did it yet. I told her she need to give it to me when she gets her login.
Yeah, bro, you need to make that happen, man. The Mandalorian is going on. But the thing about it is, like, man, there's no black representation. And maybe that's to your point, Byron. We want representation, or they want representation. But it's like, I'm thinking of all these stories, like Lord of the Rings, anything like that.
Well,
Black people ain't.
You also have to think about when they were made, though. So whitewashing was very like
they're remaking everything
back then. So as they're making them now, what we're seeing is they're putting black characters in, those types of things. You know, the Game of Thrones, right? They had black people. It was just they were minding their dang on business, and they was like, I ain't in all that.
They were all slaves.
White people.
They were all slaves.
No.
Free.
Like a lot of them were slaves, but all of them weren't slaves. I mean, Quarth in general was a black area or a Middle Eastern area, if you really kind of think through it. But there were people of color. They just were on the different continents doing their thing. You know, whatever Marine was basically Egypt. And so the Egyptians, the slave owners were essentially black. I know they cast a lot of them as white, but that in the book, they would have been black people. You saw that in, what was it?
Exactly. But it's exactly.
Yeah.
So the character I was talking about was Finn too.
Oh, Finn. Yeah.
Yeah, Finn.
He's not a clone.
He was one of the clones.
No, he was a stormtrooper.
I thought stormtroopers are clones.
Stormtroopers were clones during the Clone Wars, like the initial part. But as all the clones started dying out, then normal people started becoming stormtroopers. So as you get into like this nerd talk, super nerd talk. As you get into like recent Star Wars stuff, those.
We got time for it. Hey, let's pay some bills.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Welcome back. We still over here laughing. Once again, my favorite time of the show. Three brothers, no sense, gets to ask questions. Let me see. Where do I want to begin? Okay. I guess this is not even an easy question, but I mean, I think it's appropriate for the season. So when you guys listen to this show, it will be Thanksgiving week. Hopefully. It'll be Thanksgiving week. And so I want to ask you guys, name the one or two things that you're most thankful for. I know it's cliche, but we talk a lot of noise, but I think sometimes we really just have to go back and give thanks.
I'm definitely thankful for, I guess my answers are going to be cliche. I'm definitely thankful for my family. And I'll elaborate on that because, man, as we mentioned time to time on this show, life is tough. Life can be difficult. Life can beat you down. And so during those moments when life is beating you down, tough day at work or whatever the case may be, it's good to come home to people that actually love you. And it helps. Like if I have a tough day at work, I have a fairly long commute. I have time to think about it, come home and, have a daughter that runs to you saying, Daddy, well, she used to, she's a little too cool for that now. But when she did run to me, my wife will greet me. So that's very important to have, man. And you see a lot of times when people are depressed, it's not the only reason, but a lot of times they just feel like they don't have anyone that loves or care about them. So having family is important. That's one thing I'm thankful for. And not to sound like a company man, but my job, man. Like I actually have a job that I like. It's not perfect. I do have my complaints here and there about it, but I remember praying for this job, man. Like, I just, the salary that it was going to pay me and stuff, it really helped me out a lot. Like 10, 15 years ago, the things that me and my family have accomplished financially, I never would have dreamed of it. And I owe a lot of it to my job. And I enjoy politics, and my job is centered around that. So it's like a win-win for me. So I know a lot of people hate their jobs and can't stand going to work. But for me, other than having to wake up early and fight traffic sometimes, I genuinely like my job, and that's not something a lot of people can say.
So you like being a police?
Oh, see, here we go. You know what? I'm glad you said that. Listen, these two ninjas have mentioned me being a police several times. I'm not like one of the police that you see on TV that's kicking in doors.
You're a special police.
And harassing people. I'm pretty much protecting members of Congress and the staff and all that. So I'm not that kind of police. So I barely even call myself police. I'm not even police to me. I'm not police.
For how long before you write? Until he gets the police perk. I know you done flash that badge, got yourself out of a couple of tickets and all that stuff.
I have never done such a thing, sir.
Okay, now we lying on the show. That's cool. Oh man, but that's good, man. I'm proud of you. I love the job. I mean, I thought about that job a few years ago when you presented it to me. So it's definitely been a great opportunity. I'm proud of you and everything you've accomplished, even though you're the police. And you know, keep it going. Razi, is on you.
It's hard to follow behind that. Definitely family, not just my immediate family, my wife, kids, that type of thing. Of course, my parents. I've said it a couple times. Jenica, I'm so thankful for her. She gets me out of my funks when I'm down. I say it a couple times. I've said it a couple times before. You know, she saved my life when I got back from Iraq and just kind of made me get back out there and made me actually like be with people and interact with people. So so thankful for her every day, even though she gets on my nerves and you know, want to fight her sometimes. Just yesterday, she was just walking around, just had a bad attitude. I don't know what's happening. But even with that, we laid down in the bed and she just cuddled up under me and it was cool. You know, so.
Were you the big spoon or little spoon?
I was the big spoon.
I just picture the difference.
So being the little spoon every now and again is not a bad thing, gentlemen.
Nah, bro. Maybe that's my toxic masculinity kicking in. I do not like being a little spoon. Byron, you a little spooner?
No, I'm not.
Man, it be getting hot sometimes, you know.
You are a man. You're not meant to be the little spoon.
Exactly.
That's man law.
That's part of man law. That's cool. That's
part
cool.
of man law.
I don't do that often.
He's taller than him, so maybe it makes sense. I don't know,
man.
Nah. It still don't make sense. It still don't make sense. If she tries to do it, I'm like, we're gonna move over.
I do have a homeboy and he's actually a pretty big fella, and he loves being a little spoon. Like that dude swear, like every time he brought a new chick, like, so have you told her about the little spoon? Yeah, I broke it to her. She didn't agree with it, but she gave in. Like, he just likes to be helped. I'm like, dude.
Maybe if you could phrase it differently, man.
No, man. No. Dude definitely is the little spoon. I remember the last chick he dated, we had a long conversation about it, and she kept calling him the little spoon.
So not laying down, but are you cool with your wife, like, coming behind you and giving you a hug from the behind? Type thing, kind of clinging to you, or is that still kind of a little bit too over the line?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but you know, I'm not an overly affectionate person, so I need to see it coming. Like, I don't like to be caught off guard.
I'm trying to think.
I'm already trying.
I don't know if Talbot ever does that, but I am affectionate, so I like the hugs and all that stuff, man.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't need the all sound effect. Though. I didn't need that.
Jenica's like super over affectionate, but she's she's kind of thug with it. Like every once in a while, she'll like run up behind me and do like the little dude humping motion on me. I'm like, why are you doing that?
You smack you on the ass too.
Damn it, Razi.
No.
Razi gets smacked in the kitchen while he's cooking.
With an apron on. People, if you saw this right now, and this is my boy. We're having this conversation while he's in his wife's sewing room with pink headphones with fairy ears on.
Yeah. They're cat ears. They're cat ears.
My bad. Razi, I need you to get some Metallica, Death Row, Beats by Dre, something next week just to...
Hey, y'all can always send me out some for Christmas. That'll be a nice Three Brothers Christmas present. But for right now, I just grab whatever headphones are laying around. And so today, I'm rocking Sophie's nice little Hello Kitty headphones. They work really, really well.
Oh, my bad.
But anyway,
thankful Jenica and being a little spoon.
Yeah, no, not Little Spoon, but I do love Jenica. But my other one that I'm really, really thankful for this year and probably last year is truthfully my therapist. I really, really, really got into a funk last year. And so I needed some help. So I had to go. I went and saw a therapist, and she got me to deal with a lot of the things that from the war and everything else. I'm pretty open about my PTSD and everything like that. So if you guys don't know, I've been diagnosed with PTSD. And so with that comes all the other stuff that comes along with PTSD, depression sometimes, anxiety, all that. And so just dealing with it and being able to talk to somebody and walk through that, man. So she's been there for me. So I appreciate that. Miss Sayer, if you're listening or if you don't listen, shout out to you. You got me through it and you're still helping me out. So I appreciate it.
Byron, have you ever been to therapy?
I haven't.
Okay. And I'm glad you mentioned that. It's something that I have on my agenda for next year. There's no reason I'm putting it off. I got a lot of things on my agenda for the next 12 months that I need to accomplish. I'll turn 40 next year. So therapist is one, mentor, and I have been seeking, and I think I found a mentor. So just following up on that. Was that it? That was it for you, Razi? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, you said too, definitely thankful. I didn't get a chance to kind of brief you guys on the whole Alabama Leadership Initiative thing, but I am thankful for being chosen for that and being able to be around 30 like-minded individuals that want to advance just, if not Alabama, the country and the nation in general. And so that's kind of good to be around them and get that insight, their insights, and really help society. So I'm thankful for being chosen for that and being able to just really contribute as much as I can.
Okay. That's cool, man. Well, congratulations again.
Appreciate it.
You know, I asked this question. I didn't have an answer. I do that a lot. So
that's why he was stalling.
No. I'm a salesman. That's what I do for a living. But no, I think the consensus is family. First of all, I'm thankful for my family. And that's because my family, my immediate family, what's immediate family now? It's like my mom and dad still my immediate family. It's not my immediate family, my kids. And I don't know how that works anymore once you start having your own family.
I think they're part of your immediate family. Not your, yeah, they still be part of the core family.
Okay, I don't know. I was just making, I didn't think about it until I said it. But my immediate, my family, man. And I think my family because my family for years has been my support system and my rock. And that's from my mom, my dad, and as I've grown in the last few years here in Houston, my sister and my stepmom and, my wife and kids and my brothers and sisters. Like, it's just, they've always been there for me when I needed somebody to talk to and stuff like that. Or they always, what's weird is my situation could have been very messy growing up, but my family kind of taught me, even though I'm not a very emotional person, I think I'm still a very loving person. And my family taught me how to love through tough times, through tough situations. So it's funny. We posted a article or a picture about a week or so ago where it was a young lady supporting her boyfriend, husband. We don't know the context of it, where it was, I guess he had got somebody pregnant. And she's like, hey, that's our kid. We're going to raise him. I'll help you raise him. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of controversy, and it was kind of like black and white and all that stuff. Yeah. And I didn't realize until after I posted that picture that I was that baby. So little known fact, or people don't know, like my mom was pregnant with me. My dad was married when my mom was pregnant with me. He didn't know she was married. And so I was that baby that they were talking about,
She didn't know he was married?
Yeah, she didn't know he was married.
Okay.
And so he had a whole other family, you know, over here and stuff like that. It's the 80s. You don't got no Facebook and none of that stuff. So didn't know he was married, and how people were kind of coming down on that woman, saying that, you know, she was, you know, stupid, or, you know, not all, but a lot of the responses were kind of cut and dry. Even though this lady didn't help raise me, you know, the situation I was brought up in, it was never any drama on my part. Mm-hmm. You know, my mom, I never heard her say anything bad about my dad or my stepmom. I used to come to Houston all the time to visit my dad and stepmom and sister when I was a kid. And when I got in that house, that woman treated me like I was her child. You know, even my stepdad raised me as his own. And I never felt like the stepchild. I never felt like the other kid, you know, where I've seen a lot of people feel like they were guests in their own homes because of an outside situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I never felt that. And to this day, and I actually talked to my mom, my stepdad, like I talked to my family about how the dynamics of that, you know, just a few years ago, I like to cook for Thanksgiving. So I hosted Thanksgiving at my house. My mom, my stepmom, and my biological father were all having dinner under my roof. And they got along fine. Probably the person that felt the most uneasy about the situation was my stepdad, my dad, but, you know, he's my dad. So, you know, he's a whole other character. But it's crazy because fast forward to today, my stepmom played such an important part of my life. I don't know where we would be without her. Like, I have a daughter and a son, and to my kids, that is their grandmother. No step, it's no half, it's nothing in it. That is their grandmother. My daughter went over to my stepmom's house today. Granny, that's what she calls it, Granny's house today. And she stayed for 2 or 3 days and she came back. My daughter's going to cry for at least 30 minutes at some point within the next 24 hours because she misses Granny. Like, that's how much, you know, she'll stop by my house on a random Tuesday, Wednesday, like wanting to see my son. Like, I know my grandbaby misses me. I ain't seen him all week. Like, he's 5 months. Like, I don't know if that's really a thing, but that's the kind of love. And, you know, my family taught me how to love. You know, I've seen so many people who have issues with their parents, you know, or, you know, my dad wasn't there, or my mom didn't do this for me, or they kept each other. Like, so it's taught me not to hold grudges. Like, I don't think I have there's people that just kind of annoy me, but it's never that serious with me. I don't think, I'm 38 years old, I have a single grudge with any person that I've ever come across. Like, I might not rock with you for a sec, but it's never a long grudge. And so I give that to my family. Like, if you talk to my brothers and stuff like that, we're supportive. You can ask our opinion. We'll tell you what we think, and we support you whatever you do. Sisters, same way. Hey, you know, we'll tell you our thoughts. We'll support you in whatever you do. My mom, dad, same way. Like, hey, and that's a very rare quality. I have two brothers and a younger sister with my mom and my sisters. I don't think with all my siblings, and that's going to be a touchy situation when you start doing that black family sibling thing. I don't think I've had a full blown out argument with any of my siblings in 38 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just been like that, and we love each other to death. So I say all that to say I thank my family for always being there for me. The second part is my friends. You know, in the instances my family wasn't able to help me when I shied away and I was, you know, coming up and I wanted to be grown, or, you know, I took a step back from them. I will say I've been blessed with some of the greatest groups of friends that anybody can ask for, you know, from you guys to the friends I met at FAM, from the, you know, since I've been here, the friends I met in Houston, you know, we created a whole other family here, and that's very rare, you know. So where my family was my support system, my friends were my motivators. My friends were the people that kept me pushing me forward. That inspired me to do more. You know, Razi, Buff, to this day, you guys inspire me. You know, even the ability to have this show and talk, and this is therapeutic for me, and to challenge my thought process and stuff like that. You know, Razi, we've been doing this for 20 something years. You know, the things you've done for me financially, you know, you called me on my BS multiple times. You didn't call me on my BS when you probably could have, because you knew it wouldn't be, in the end, wouldn't be as productive as letting me figure it out on my own. Mm-hmm. You know, those things. Buff, like I said I think I posted the other day, you're one of the few marriages that I've been able to look up to because of longevity and, being together so long, so my friends inspire me. They push me to do more, I've been fairly successful, nowhere near where I want to be in life. My friends pat me on my back when I do great. They kick me in my ass when I need to do better. And they keep pushing me to do more. It's never like, all right, you're making this, you done this, you're good, and you don't need to strive for anything else. So, like I said, I really thank my friends. As I get older and start meeting more people, I realize I took a lot of things that I've had, such as you guys, for granted. There's people out here that probably don't have more than one or two friends. They're getting married and they're trying to think about who's going to be their best man or who can they get to come to their wedding. We had our wedding. Well, we didn't have a wedding. When we were planning our wedding, we decided not to have it because our guest list would have been too big. It's like, man, this is huge. And I think most importantly, to put a big bow on it, and I said my family, my friends. So I think about this one person who stands out because she's family and friends, my wife. Like, Sabrina by far is the best thing that ever happened to me. Similar to you, Razi, she pulled me out of a funk 10 years ago. Like, when I packed up everything and moved to Houston, I was running away from something. I don't know what it was. She was left in I called myself leaving everything behind. And when I moved to Houston, I thought I was leaving her behind, but she was the one thing in my life that I was like, I cannot do without. Like, I need to find a way to get her here. And from the moment she got to Houston, she's been with me, had my back ever since, even before I got here. It was something special about her. She pushes me to do more. She makes me want to be better. She's helped me get over my fears of, anybody that knew me, I was anti-marriage. I'm like, this shit is for the birds. She taught me how to open up. She's taught me how to be more emotional, and I guess what was the word we're using? Affectionate. I'm not there yet. I'm definitely not there yet. I still cringe every once in a while with my wife and daughter beating that out of me. And like I said, she's a friend. Like, if you come around us, like, we can truly kick it. Like, we have fun. That's where I see a lot of marriages. They can love each other, they can be good together, but they lack that passion, that ability to have fun and still just like, that's what I want.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can have fun together, but then you still have your interests outside of each other too. Yeah. And that thin line is very hard to find.
Yeah. Cause she pushes, like, I go out with the bruh. There's certain things I do, go on my guys trips and stuff like that, because she knows I'm still a man. And I need that. I need to get away and be able to have fun, talk shit, lie, whatever the case may be. So, that's huge. So once again, we've been together. We met 11 years ago. We've been together about 10 and a half years. Best decision I ever made, probably against my better judgment, I guess to say, because on paper, everything told me not to waste my time with this young lady. And luckily, I was dumb enough or smart enough not to listen to myself. So I think that's about everything. When I got sappy again, that's what, 2 out of 3 episodes.
That was a sappy question, so you should have known that was coming.
Yeah, I didn't have an answer though.
But once you started, once you got going,
that's what happens. That's what happens. My family, my friends, y'all good peoples.
I'm telling you, going back to my therapist, that's what she do. She asks you one simple question. 20 minutes later, you crying somehow. I don't know how, but you just crying in the room. Bruh, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I'm with a therapist. I think I will fight it because I'll be in there trying to self-diagnose. Just be like, Tawara, shut up. Let me help you.
No, it's funny. A lot of times they'll let you self-diagnose, or that's what Miss Sayer did for me. I don't want to talk for all therapists, but like, she'll be like, and I'll be like, I think it's this, and then she'll be like, oh, okay, well, why? And then I'm like, well, I think it's this. And then you're like, well, why? And then so and as long as you're still talking, she's good. She don't care if you self-diagnosing and all that. And it's all about
an hour.
Huh?
You paying about an hour.
I don't pay her. The VA pay her. It don't really matter.
All right. My bad. Who's up next, man?
I think Razi got it this week, right?
Yeah, I can. And so for me, y'all know Thanksgiving's coming, Black Friday's coming. So everybody's going to go out and spend a whole bunch of money and everything, and then be stressing about it come December, January, how they going to pay for it. So along these lines of therapy and talking through that, I guess I can be a little bit heavier today. stress is coming. We know it. Holidays are very stressful. Finances are stressful. Tax time's coming in a little while. I talked about my therapy and everything like that, but I wanted to ask you guys, how do you deal with stress? You guys talked about you don't really, have a therapist right now or anything like that. So what do you guys do to deal with your stress and get it out and keep going and stay sane?
Wow.
You want to go? You want to take it, Buff?
I think my answer kind of short, man. Okay. Well, I talk to different people, like maybe you guys or mostly Tabitha, and I pray about it. But it depends on what I'm stressing about too. So if it's like I don't know, say if it was like a large bill or whatever, anything that's household related, I definitely will talk to her. And it's all about finding solutions. Because what I try to tell her, because she used to have a very stressful job as a daycare director, a child care director. And, I just try to tell her, and I try to take my own advice. I used to tell her, look, just try to find a solution. Like dwelling on something is never going to solve it. So whatever you're stressing about, if you're just sitting there dwelling on it, stressing about it, that's not what's going to get you out of it. So, after you have your moment, because we all need a moment too. I think we need that moment to kind of like be like, man, how am I going to get out of this one? But after you have that moment, it's time to try to start finding solutions. And if you can't find it on your own, talk to somebody who can help you get through it. And like I say, prayer too, man. I knock a lot of people sometime on social media, especially whenever there's a mass shooting and they say, we're going to send out thoughts and prayers. And it always seems so empty. But if you genuinely, believe in that stuff and pray about it, I think it can help and it's helpful. So those are the two things that I try to do to deal with stress. But Ferg got me thinking. You said next year you're going to seek out a therapist. So I may explore some other avenues, but so far it's worked for me, man. That's what's worked for me.
Yeah. And I remember you on a running kick for a little while. Did you think that helped, or exercise in general, or when you ran, were you able to like think through things? Because I know when I ran, that used to be my time to kind of just think through it, and it was almost like, I don't know, like meditation while I was running.
Yeah, I've heard that. Not for me, because I listen to a lot of trap music when I'm running, so ain't too much deep thinking when you got Jeezy going, yeah. So, but I have heard that works as well.
What about you, man?
Let me see. Well, I agree with something Byron said. Sometimes you got to let yourself, like I try not to let myself wallow in anything too long.
Right.
Like, I think that's a strength of mine, and it could also probably be a weakness as well. As I'm very solution oriented, and I'm a thinker, so I think through everything. And so a lot of times I don't find myself in as many stressful situations because I try to avoid them before they get there. But there's things you can't avoid. Life, job, whatever the case may be. But I think through them, and back to my wife. She's my sounding board. So there hasn't been a situation I've been faced with in the last, call it 11 years, that I haven't been able to bounce off of her. Even if she doesn't have the solution, she's been, I guess, somewhat of my therapist because she'll ask the right questions at the right time. And I think because I'm able to be honest with her, I'll do like you said in therapy. I'm like, but you know what? Actually, I think it's just this. Maybe I just need to get a new job, or maybe this isn't for me. Like, and by the end of the day, I figured it out, or I figured out something that works for me. Now, who knows? There could be a lot of stuff I've been pushing to the side, and one day I just snap. Who knows? But I think just talking it out, being solution oriented, because I don't want to say that some people like to wallow in self-pity, or some people like to have that additional stress. It makes them feel alive. It makes them feel alive. I don't like, and I think that's when the bad part is when my wife is going through things. I'm thinking of solutions. I'm like, okay, well, let's just do this. Well, let's just do that. And, sometimes they want to sit and be in those emotions, because it's not a negative thing. Sometimes I think stress is good. Stress does make you feel alive. It reminds you that you're alive. We had 2018 was a very stressful year for us. So I wrap myself around my family, my friends, other work. I think staying busy and putting that energy elsewhere and making sure the good outweighs the bad helps. Working out, I'm not a big runner. I hate running, especially with my bad back. But, working out, staying in shape, one of my favorite pastime. This is a kid's show, so I'm not going to say that. But,
you about to say.
No.
having intimate time with the wife. You know what I'm saying? That's a stress reliever. It definitely is. We definitely, I think we have a very healthy sex life, and that helps. You release endorphins. I mean, it is what it is.
You could just eat chocolate, Ferg.
Or I could just have sex with my wife. I can have chocolate anytime I want. So, but I think that's it. But, I do want to explore other options because I've been fortunate enough to not have that big blow up situation where I haven't been able to solve it myself. I think the closest time was around 2009, 2010 when I first got here, and it was very stressful financially and stuff like that. But once again, Sabrina was there and my friends were there to bail me out, and family was there. So I made it through, but definitely probably counseling would have helped at that time. So I think that's it, talking through it, staying busy, working out, and plenty of.
Bro, you putting you to work to this episode, right?
I know.
That's the only time you got to beat. That's the only time you got to beat me out, right?
I think so. I think the other one was small. We can roll through it. So no, the funny thing is, a lot of what you guys are talking about is a lot of what my therapist was like. Hey, do these things. You kind of made a joke about like having a active, intimate, or sex life with your wife, or spouse, significant other, whatever. But that it does make a big difference. That definitely being able to talk, having somebody to talk to, it definitely, you guys, this right here has been the biggest boon for me, truthfully, being able to just get on this mic once a week and just throw stuff out there. Whatever my concerns were. That's huge to be able to get it out and be able to talk through it and talk about it. You'd be surprised at how much stuff you're just kind of pushing to the side. Like you talked about, Ferg, just pushing to the side and maybe one day it'll blow up. The thing about it is I didn't know I was repressing or pushing to the side or dismissing or avoiding so many things until I got in therapy, and started like really talking through it and just kind of pulling it out. And I just stuffed it in the closet. And you know how when you put blankets in the closet, if you don't like fold them up, you just kind of stuff them in there. You can only get so many in there and it starts to like fall out and you open it up and it just all topples down on you. That's how it feels. And what therapy was able to do, and this is what she told me. She was like, my job is to help you just fold them up and put them back in there so that it don't topple out over on you when you open the door. That's what it's about. It's not about getting rid of them or anything like that. It's being able to actually live through your experiences, what you're doing, what you're having, what you're dealing with right now, and not let it overwhelm you. So whatever it is, if it's exercise, if it's talking, if it's sex, if it's, but make sure it's healthy, because it could end up being sex and you out on the corner, paying $40 every 2 days.
$40.
Because I think that
with the $40.
It's the $40. I really think it is the going rate. I'm just saying, I don't know, but until somebody tells me I'm wrong, I think that's what the $40 is. But you know, when you talk about dealing with stress, man, it's so much. I had at one point, my therapist was like, make a list of people who care about you. And anytime you start feeling down, if you start feeling like, you know, you don't have anybody that cares or anything like that, just pull the list out and look at it. And that's helped. So anybody out there, if you guys are listening, if you're in that funk, if you are just feeling down, just, man, know that people care and make a list. Even if the list is only 5 people, those 5 people care. You know what I mean? And so then you can take that next step, because stress in itself, like Ferg said, isn't bad. In sales, we did it all the time. I mean, I have to set goals. I have to set stretch goals. I have to give you time frames. I have to put that stress on you so that you go out and you sell. But when it starts to get to the point where you can't sleep at night, when you come home and you have anxiety, when you're scared to go into work in the morning, your heart's racing because you got to go to work the next day, then you probably need to go talk to somebody. You need to, and get it out. And whether that's talking to a professional or if that's just talking to a friend or family, go out and holler at somebody and just get that off your chest. And like Ferg said, maybe it is it's time for me to find a new job, and be solutions oriented and go ahead and remove yourself from the situation and go find you a new job. We ain't saying go quit your job tomorrow, guys. Don't just get up the next day. But what we're saying is have that plan. It was funny. I was watching Steve Harvey, and some of the advice he gives I hate, but this was actually a good one. He was like, give yourself 6 months and say, if things aren't better in my job at 6 months, I'm going to go and find a new job and look for a new job. Instead of walking out on a job, you say, I'm actively looking for a job. And in the next 6 months, if I haven't found anything, then I'll walk out on this job. Because what ends up happening is now you can handle all the stressful situations at the job a little bit better because you got that tunnel or that light at the end of the tunnel. The 6 months. I can last 6 months while you're actively looking for a job, so that you don't walk out and you don't have a job while you're trying to look for the next one. So little stuff like that, man. There's all kind of techniques out there. But my biggest one is just talk to somebody. Make sure that they are listening to you. And guys, if you're the person that somebody's reaching out to, make sure you make time for them. Yes. Is another thing. Because too often people will be like, yeah, take it seriously. Because too often we're like, oh, I'm too busy. And I'm bad about that. It's life's a problem for me. I got all kind of stuff going on. I don't have time to have this conversation with you. But if they need that 30 minutes, if they need that hour, give it to them. I mean, it could be, sometimes that could be life or death. I mean, we've had a lot of suicides happening, especially in the military. I look at all the suicide rates in the military, and that's one of the things that we always talk about is being there for that person, identifying it. And if they call you and say, I got to talk, then you need to be there to listen, and don't leave them. So, walk them to where they need to go. Talk to them while you heading there, or you sending somebody over if you feel like it's that serious where they may end up taking their life. I don't know how we got on suicide awareness or prevention, but seriously, I told you this is how therapy works. You just start talking and it just starts coming out.
Don't forget meditation too.
Meditation both talked about prayer, but prayer and meditation are really synonymous in my eyes when I think about that. It's that time to clear your head, take it to a higher power, lay it out and say, I'm not going to worry about that anymore. God's got it. Karma's got it. Society's got it. Whoever you're praying to, Allah has it. I mean, whoever you're praying to, at that point, you just need to kind of lay that down, meditate, get all those stresses off of you, and say, okay, it's going to be better. So definitely meditation helps a lot.
All right. So we've been keeping the show pretty serious, and I think it's been very inspiring and helpful. So allow me to make it ignorant, if I may. So this is something Tabitha and I actually disagreed on.
Oh, Lord.
So
welcome to the No Sense segment.
Exactly. So there's a rapper named Tory Lanez, and for the record, I have never knowingly heard a Tory Lanez verse in my life.
So I'm Googling one of his songs because I'm definitely not a Tory Lanez fan that I know of.
I know him from so YouTube. They do these videos with Uber where you think you're getting like a Toyota Corolla picking you up, but it's really like a Lamborghini. And he was like one of the drivers in it, and you just get to see the people reaction on riding in a Lamborghini or something. But I think it was on Joe Budden's show. He said that when it comes to dating, that he doesn't date a woman that asks him for anything that she can't afford herself. So, in other words, if he's dating a woman, he doesn't feel like she should ask him for a $10,000 bag if she can't afford it herself. And, maybe I'm being a little ignorant, but I told Talbot, I said, I kind of get that. So it's not a hill that I'm willing to die on. I am willing to be swayed on this. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that, and then I'll give my take on why I kind of agree with it. So go ahead.
Call me ignorant then. Because I wholeheartedly agree. One of my pet peeves is when we put not even unrealistic, but certain expectations on people that we wouldn't step up to the plate for ourselves. So if I had Tory Lanez money, I don't know how much he makes, but I guess a $10,000 bag is affordable for him or achievable for him. I'm not against getting you a $10,000 bag. I'm against you expecting it. Like, who are you? Yeah. What have you done in your life that allows you to think that you are worthy? And even if you think you're worthy, know your self-worth, women. I agree. Maybe maybe we don't agree on the worth. That's the thing. The dollar's not really worth a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's debatable. That stuff goes up and down. There's inflation, all kind of stuff. Like, hey, you caught me on a day where your worth isn't worth $10,000 bag. And not even saying your worth isn't that, but if you can't afford it yourself, why do you expect me to get it for you? And that's on all things. Like I've had this situation or conversation with women when it comes to wedding rings and all that stuff. Like, well, I want this ring. My man should buy me a $10,000 wedding ring or a $5,000 ring. First of all, you don't even got the man. Like, what the hell? Like, how you already coming up with this thing in your mind? Now, goals, expectations, wants, I get it. You want to drive this. We all got dream cars and stuff like that. But that's our dream that we're getting for ourselves. Or we're working as a group to get, like when my wife get married, I want to have this house. That's something you work for together. But just say, because we're dating or because I'm married, this is what my spouse is supposed to do. I always ask people, would you do for others what you expect them to do for you? Like, would you buy him? I bought you a $10,000 bag, so buy me a $10,000
watch.
Exactly. If I bought you a $10,000 ring, are you going to spend $10,000 and give me something? I say half of it. I used to joke, like, would you do half of what you expect him to do? So if I bought you a $10,000 ring, would you go give me a $5,000 watch? Well, that's different. How so? Well, that's you showing your love for me. Well, that's me. I want you to show your love for me. And I'm pretty sure Tory Lanez in this situation ain't talking about love. He's just talking about the regular chick. And, I hope to get to the point where whatever my wife's desires are, I can get. My wife can ask me for the world. Like, and if there's a way for me to get it, then I'm going to try. So I'm not saying don't have high expectations, like, I guess expectations or wants or goals, but don't get bent out of shape or think that you automatically deserve this, or I guess for lack of better terms, that is your expectation. If you're with me, you need to do X. You need to buy X. If it's so important, why don't you get it yourself? Razi's going to vehemently disagree.
I am. I'm trying to hold back. But
I mean,
not vehemently disagree. There is a such thing as he can afford, like you said, he can afford a $10,000 bag and it not be a big deal to him. So you do have to think about that income level, what he's spending when I'm asking for a Christmas gift or I'm asking for a gift or something like that. Like he didn't give any context to that comment when he says,
but the women give context.
Can't ask me for it. The thing about it is if I know you're a millionaire, if I know that a $10,000 bag is a drop in the bucket for you, and I say, hey, I want a bag while we're out or whatever, then, you know, as a lady, as your lady, that's fine. It's up to him whether he says I'm going to get it for you or not.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, she can ask.
She can ask all she wants. He cannot give it to her. And then if she leaves, then she want the one for you, bruh. But the thing about it is, I don't think you should be like, oh, if she asks, I'm out automatically. You know, I joke with Jenica all the time. When I met Jenica, she was a homeless bum. Literally, wow. She was staying. I mean, she was between semesters. She was staying on her sister's couch, didn't have a job. And so I messed with her a lot. I'm like, you were a homeless bum at the time. It's okay. But, you know, and so I couldn't be like, oh, well, if you can't get something for me, I'm not buying anything for you. You know what I mean? It was like I got her gifts and I got her stuff because I could afford it when I knew she couldn't. We went Dutch on dates.
But that's different. Did she ask you for gifts, or did you just get her gifts that you knew she would like?
No, like for birthdays and stuff like that, for holidays, things like that, she would ask for gifts and she would say what she wanted.
She asked for things that she couldn't afford.
She was a homeless bum, Buff. She couldn't afford nothing.
And so my thing is, and so let me clarify on that then. So I understand what you're saying wholeheartedly. So when I met my wife, I was making more money than her as well. And it's not even about the ask. It's the expectation. I want her to have high standards. I don't want her to be, you know, the chick from the Kanye, you know, I flew a plane. Like, I don't want you to be that lost. Like, but at the same time, when it becomes a deal breaker for you, when we're not even serious, like when your expectations isn't because he's Tory Lanez, like there's women out there, and somebody made a post about this the other day where it's like, why are men even sliding my DMs? If they can't pay my bills, if they can't do this, I don't need to be with them. Like your expectation, you don't have an interest in this man. It's what he can do for you.
Yeah.
And
that's the issue.
So that's the issue. Like, and I want to clarify, my wife can afford anything I can afford because that's our money. Now we make financial decisions together. So when it becomes like she wants to get something, she asks because she wants to make sure it's in our budget. Same thing I do is like, I'm asking like, you know, should we do this? Can we do this? How does this affect us? So I don't want to say like my wife has to ask me for anything, but it took us to get to be married and stuff like that. But, you know, when I met Serena, she didn't have it like that either. But she never was like, well, my man does this because I'm a broke, you know, we're in a broke college town. You know, you making $60,000 in Tallahassee, you balling. And she wasn't like, well, you need to buy me red bottoms. You need to do this. When we go out, we need to go here. We need to go here. Like that turns me off. Mm-hmm. Because are you missing out? Are you dating me or are you dating my money?
Yeah. Yeah. So like with me and Jenica, when we were dating, what we would do is like, I would pay for the nicer dates. And then what she do, she might cook or something like that. You know what I mean? She might do something like we took turns on whose date it was. And so her dates were the cheaper dates. It might be, you know, something like, hey, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese, or she might have the movie and that's it, you know, and then, or she'll like cook for dinner and then we'll go to a movie. Whereas me, I'm taking her where we're going to go to a restaurant where it's probably going to be $120 that we spend for the restaurant. Yeah. So that's how we kind of played it. But it is a little bit of Tory Lanez has to understand that he's seen differently because he makes that money. He can't just be like, oh, well, they shouldn't ask me for this. They should only be asking me for $100 gift when that's spending money. You blow that at the strip club on a random day.
I get you, but then I just think about it.
That's his money to blow.
But the thing, I got you until you said that, and I went back to my original point. It's like if you were dating Ferg, Buff, or Razi, would you ask for that same purse? Are you dating me or are you dating your money? Do your expectations change because of me? I'm the same person. My financial situation is different. Like if I took you on that $120 date, are you upset? but we could have had the best conversation, all this stuff. But you wanted a $400 drink. You want to buy the bottle of champagne that costs $10,000. Like, because I can afford it, does that mean that that's what we have to do? Because I might not do that for myself. So, yeah, you can want it and think you deserve it. But if our relationship is contingent upon me doing certain things because I can afford it, I have a problem with that, because it goes back to the same. My original point was, would you do the same for me? If I make $1 million and you make $50,000, on $50,000, what can, if I was a man making $50,000, what kind of date could I afford? What's the max you would spend on a date at $50,000? Would you spend that on me? If it's $100 date, would you take me on a $100 date? That's your max. Your $100,000 is my $10,000.
So a few things. Razi, you and Jenica went on a date to Chuck E. Cheese?
That was our first date, actually, was Chuck E. Cheese.
Lord.
Okay, I just had to. Okay,
yeah. So that was our first date.
I mistake. I appreciate you bringing that back in.
Y'all gonna get off of me and Jenica. Like,
don't they sell beer at Chuck E. Cheese now or something?
They do.
Jenica didn't drink back then.
They do.
But no, what happened was it was if y'all just want to hear the story. Jenica has a niece, Jayla, that she hangs with all the time. And Jayla is about the same age as Haley. And so I had Haley at the time. Okay. we talked about it, and we were like, hey, we'll take them to Chuck E. Cheese. They can go play or whatever, do their thing. And then we can it's almost like a coffee date. We can actually talk, have a conversation or whatever, see if we want to be more than that or continue to date after that. So it was kind of a safe date, and at the same time, but we just hit it off. I mean, it just is what it is.
Coffee date turned into one of them Luke Cage coffee dates, huh?
Yeah.
So a couple of things. One, I think it's definitely different if you're married. If you're married, it's different because once you're married, you know, your money is her money is your money. You guys have money together, so she can pretty much ask for whatever she wants. And two, I think someone like Tory Lanez, who I guess is a celebrity, I think celebrities do have to be a little bit different and protect themselves. And maybe that isn't the rule, but I get it in the sense that you really have to make sure women are dating you, like Ferg said, for you and not for your money. And especially if you guys have been dating like 3 weeks or a month, and all of a sudden she's like, hey, you mind if we go to Neiman Marcus and get this, I saw this cute $3,000 Louis bag that I want. Like, shorty, if you busting tables at Applebee's and you can't afford the Louis bag, what you asking me for it for? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I actually get that. And I'll just say this, because a lot of ladies were extremely upset, calling them all kind of names. I would say this, if a dude really likes you, he's going to get you that stuff anyway. So if you're dating a guy with money and he never, you know, expresses any type of, I guess, monetary affection, we can call it, by getting you gifts and stuff like that, then, you know, you make that decision on if you want to stay in that relationship or move on. But the gifts will come the longer you date. So you shouldn't have to ask for such an extravagant gift. And like, I got to come back to Ferg again, too. Like, why are you asking for that type of gift? Like, yeah, he's rich, but that's still like, not all rich people like blowing their money. Rich people still, one of the reasons they like to host these award shows is because of the swag bag they get with all this free stuff in it. Rich people like free stuff. They like saving their money a lot of times.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily want to buy Gucci and Louis all the time. So, you know, maybe if you're dating Floyd Mayweather, you can ask that. But other than that, I can see a lot of celebrities having that. And the last thing I want to say on this, which is kind of off topic, but we got to stop getting angry at people for their preferences. So I know like a lot of dark-skinned women, they get upset when a guy says, you know, I like light-skinned women. I like yellow girls. Now he's not even putting down dark-skinned women, just saying that's what I like. That's what I prefer. They get upset, but at the same time, they'll get on the post and say, I don't want no man under 6 feet. I don't want no short man. So why is it okay for you to have that preference, but that man can't have his preference? I think you can have your preference as long as you're not putting down everyone else. So if you're saying, I think only light-skinned women are pretty, dark-skinned women are just, ugly to me, then that's a different thing. But I don't think we should be tearing each other apart for their preference. If that's their preference, that's their preference. And Tabitha disagreed with the Tory Lanez thing, and that she was like, well, how's that any different than, when I tell you what I want for Christmas or something like that? I'm like, well, A, we're married, and B, you never ask me for anything that's like 4 figures or more. So I kind of agree with Tory Lanez.
But even if you didn't get it, like, think about it, it's your choice to get it or not.
Yeah.
That's my thing. When it's contingent, when your relationship is contingent, even if I come forward, even if we're married and you want this Louis bag and I don't get you this Louis bag and you want to get a divorce over that, or you make my life hell over that, we got bigger problems.
Right.
That's my thing. It's like,
imagine her explaining that. Girl, he wouldn't give me a Gucci bag. I had to leave.
Exactly. So $3,000, $4,000 bag, and you might have been in it for the wrong night. If I never do anything nice for you and your love language is gifts or whatever the case may be, then your gifts have to also be within reason. Like, it can't be, well, my love language is gifts, and so I want a $3,000 bag, a Louis bag every quarter. It's like, we don't live that $3,000 Louis bag life. Mm-hmm. Or, is it me showing that I care about you is it all about what you want, or me showing you how I feel about you based off of what I feel is an expression of my love? So I think that's what it is. It's like, if it's a $10,000 Louis bag, or it's a freaking, I get you a heart pendant that was passed down from my great-great-grandmother that I didn't have to spend a dime for, but this means a lot to me. Does that $3,000 Louis bag show you that I love you more? Or this is something that, only 4 women in my family have had, and I'm giving you the 5th. Like,
and with celebrities, that they do have to worry about gold diggers and the girls is chasing the clout and chasing the celebrity and everything else. Exactly. So I agree with Tory in his situation, saying she shouldn't be asking me for it. My thing is, there's a difference of him saying, oh, I'm not going to get it for it at all. Or if she asked me for it for Christmas because that's what she really wants for Christmas. She knows I can't afford it, and that's what she wants for Christmas. Whether you get it or not is on you.
And where I would meet Tabitha at now, I told her now, if Tory asked a woman that he's dating, hey, Christmas coming up, Valentine's Day coming up, your birthday coming up, whatever, what would you like? If he asks and that's her answer, then I know that sounds like it's the same thing, but I think that's a little different if he prompts. My thing is, what makes me flaccid is when a woman without prompt just says, hey, I want this bag or these shoes. I want some Christian Louboutins. So that's what I don't like. But if I ask you and, you say something, I'll say, well, whoa, I don't know if I can get you that. Is there anything else you want? Or I'll say, okay, all right, I'll see about getting that for you.
I think it's circumstantial. So like, it's one of those things, like, if, like me, I like to shop every once in a while. I like nice clothes. I like fashion. So every once in a while I'll go buy, like, I might go buy me some suits or something like that. I'm spending money. I budgeted for it. Like, you know what? I just spent some money.
Was that a flex? He said suits with an S, Razi.
Yes, with an S.
Suits.
Yeah.
Because I won't go all the time. So when I go, I'm going to go. But at the time, like, you know what? My wife really hasn't asked for anything lately that I'm spending all this money on me. I feel kind of selfish. And maybe that's maybe just a guilt trip. Like, okay, I spent this, I can go spend an extra, and I don't feel that guilt. But like, she deserves, my wife doesn't ask for a lot of stuff. She deserves great things. I would give her the world if I could. But she deserves it. It's just, once again, when that expectation is like, oh, you can't go shopping, you ain't buy me nothing. Like, well, I work hard and I think I deserve it. I might not buy myself anything for 6 months. So I feel like I deserve this. Let me make the decision when it comes. Like, you can go buy what you want to buy. Now, we have an issue, or you want to cause an issue, either way, we can deal with that. But, I don't say anything when every 2 days I see a freaking Amazon box at our house, you
get that too?
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna see how much I spent on Amazon in a year and figure out what it really is. Cause I might have ordered 5 things from Amazon this year, and I guarantee we've had 50, 60 boxes at if not more.
Amazon Fashion Nova.
Fashion Nova, ASOS, waiting on Jenica Kimberly to go online. But that's what's up. That was actually a good question, Byron, because I've had that conversation many times, and I know we're going to catch a lot of flack from this one.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm always open to have my mind changed. So, ladies, if we're completely wrong, please correct us on our Facebook page, IG page, whatever. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm gonna throw it out there. When I was joking with Jenica when I called her a homeless bum. That it's an inside joke between us.
Man, I read it. I read your face.
You still getting that slap to the head, bro. Yeah.
So I'm a homeless bum, huh?
He meant it, Jenica. He meant it.
Yep.
She knows the joke.
All right, fellas. As usual, I had a blast. I can't wait to get up with you guys. It's 3-4 days and we'll all be together and get to have some fun. So this is the prelude to our live show next week, or this week now.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you guys want to leave the people with?
Okay, I'll go. Gluttony Day, as Ferg mentioned, is upon us. And every Gluttony Day on social media, people like to pass around these memes like, which one got to go for Thanksgiving meal? And it's usually like mac and cheese, collard greens, the turkey, or the yams. And listen, I think everybody should be allowed to freely pick their choice. You know, I mentioned how people should have their preference. But anybody that picks mac and cheese as the one that got to go, you're a terrorist. They got to go. And I'm reporting you to the feds. And that's just that's no other way about it. Do not pick mac and cheese on those posts.
Yeah, that's just sacrilege to take mac and cheese off. Mm. They can keep the turkey if it really come down to it for me. I like ham. I don't need that dry behind turkey.
You partake in the swine.
I do.
You give me a fried turkey or a barbecue turkey, I'm good. Or a smoked turkey.
Yeah, the fried turkey. Fried turkey ain't dry, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm taking all that. You can have I don't even do oven baked turkey anymore. Yeah,
maybe that's it. Like, because we always cook the ham because we like the ham here, so we can keep
the swine.
Yeah. So
the honey baked
somebody else is bringing the turkey, so I don't know if they frying it, baking it, whatever. So
well, Maggie frying 2 turkeys Thursday.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm all about that life, man. I'm so excited for my mama cooking.
Yeah. Oh, so for Black Friday, let's drop a little hint for our wives. What do y'all want for Christmas, just in case they want to go out for Black Friday and get it for you?
I don't know, dude. I'm one of those
Other than a Birkin bag or whatever that $10,000 bag is. Y'all don't want one of those?
Some $400 Creed cologne.
Dude, I'm the hardest person to shop for because my wife asks every birthday, every anniversary. I don't know. Like, I'm not good at accepting gifts. Like, I don't know. I've never been that.
That's what makes it so hard for her to get something for you. That's why
I know. She's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, I don't know.
That sucks.
Well, what Tab and I we're going to start like not getting each other gifts starting this Christmas and just like letting our gift be something for the house that we need. But if you feel like being generous, Tabitha, you can visit feetshirts.com and they have some nice suits. Charles Tier, I like their suits. I like their shirts. I like their shoes. So, you know, whatever you think I'm worth.
You got some custom suits or?
Yeah. But I don't have a Charles Tier suit yet. And they have some very nice stuff. I like their shirts and stuff. So again, Tabitha, that website is C like cat, T like Tom, shirts.com. You can visit that and, hook your husband up.
Nice. For me, it's about the same. We usually don't do gifts on Christmas, but there is a new Star Wars video game out that just dropped. So, I can either get it for myself or, you can get it and say, hey, I got you a gift. Either way, it works for me. But it's still getting in the house somehow in the near future.
And that's what's funny. I actually mentioned that because my job after Christmas, like around Christmas, we don't go back to work until like the 5th. Like they pretty much, our office is closed. So I think from the 23rd until the 5th or whatever, ain't nothing to do. So now that I have the PS4, I'm going to go ahead and grab that Star Wars game. Either way. So if you guys see any good Black Friday deals, let me know. We'll be together Black Friday. So
I don't know if it's still going on, but Cole Haan had a 50% off sale online. So check that out see if it's still going on.
Yeah, I need some double monk, so that might be the play. If she wants to give anything, it's clothes. Give me a nice suit, some nice tailored shirts, some nice shoes. My wife knows I'm all about clothes. I'm actually trying to learn how to dress down because I've been trying to go out and I really don't have, I really probably just bought my first pair of real tennis shoes 2 or 3 years ago. All my stuff was from Aldo and crap like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, man, we've been rambling, so I really got nothing for the people. We'll see you next week or this week, and I hope you enjoy the show. 3 Brothers No Sense, we out.